Hello and welcome to Conversation with Mrs. Pham. Today we're diving into a topic that affects millions of people around the world: domestic violence and abuse. Yes, domestic violence and abuse. It is a reality that often stays hidden behind closed doors, leaving the victims trapped, unheard, and totally helpless. But today, we are breaking the silence. I have with me a courageous survivor who has chosen to share their journey on this platform. This story is one of pain, resilience, and hope. But before we begin, if you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, please know that help is available. You are not alone, and there are people who care and are able to help you. So, I am honored to introduce this beautiful, hardworking businesswoman, Princess. Princess is a highly recognized and respected event planner who has done really well for herself around Greater Manchester and the United Kingdom. I thank you so much, Princess, for coming on today's program. I am really, really honored to have you here. Thank you for willing and wishing that other people will learn something from your experience. Thank you so much. Hello, Princess.
Good evening, Ink. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. And thank you once again for coming on today's program.
Thank you for inviting me over. It's a pleasure.
Oh, good. Right. About today's topic, domestic violence and abuse. Could you, please, before we get into today's topic, can we get to know more of you? Who you are, what you do, what you represent? Because, I could go from now until forever, introducing you.
Okay.
But I want you to say it, yourself.
Due to time, I'm going to give you a short introduction of who I am. My name is Princess Tawakalitu Salami. I own a company called the Pretty Pink Parties, which is a kids' party venue in Wigan. I'm also a CEO of Pick Up Your Crown, which looks after single moms, rejected children that have gone through the care system, and children that have been through trauma at a very young age. It's a very young charity that started last year. I'm just constantly working and seeing programs I'm going to put together. However, it's my heart. However, because of what I've been through and the care system. So I was born in London, schooled in Hackney, so I'm a very proper East London girl. And I've been from one care to another. I was through the care system, left care, went to Nigeria, put in boarding school, came back, went to the care system, and had a child, my first child at 19. So yes, I was a very young mom. And I'm a single mom then and still now. So that's a very short, brief introduction about who I really am.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. And getting into today's topic, which is domestic violence and abuse, can you tell us a little bit about your story? What was your relationship like in the beginning?
So when you talk about domestic violence, it's something that's all over the place, and it's not new to people about domestic violence.
Yeah.
However, I feel that we don't go to the roots and we don't tackle or see a lot of fundamental issues that either the victim or the
perpetrator.
That was my word. I was trying to get my words out.
Yeah.
The perpetrator has been through. I feel that it doesn't just stem from when we're adults. It's from the childhood. However, my relationship with my ex-partner was, in the beginning, it was, very nice, very okay. However, I saw the red flags.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I'm not going to deny that.
Do you want to share some of that, please?
The red flags was being very controlling.
Right.
Aggressive when they talk. They don't want you to speak. It's always about what they want. They're very much self-pity. They want self-pity all the time.
Yeah.
They want everyone to be on their side. They're very selfish, self-centered. They don't care about your feelings, your emotions. It's all about them. And I saw all that. But because I was damaged anyway from being in care.
Was that from your childhood development?
My childhood development.
Yeah.
So not having my parents around, because my parents were very, they were workers.
Yeah.
They were also business people in Nigeria, so they were going in and out. And in the 80s and 70s, it was a norm for all the Nigerians that came to study to put their kids in care. So some were Dover, Portsmouth. So I grew up in Portsmouth.
Right.
That was and I faced abuse there because I was the only black child there. So I went through your black, your Afro. You know, it made me wet my bed at a very, very young age, to a very I would say maybe till 8, 9, I was still wetting my bed.
So can I put it that you kind of was yearning for love that you didn't quite get when you were younger?
Yes. So
okay,
you have to understand that this is a damaged woman.
Yeah.
That has gone through traumatic childhood.
Yeah.
She's been through all different from one care to, she's not had
like
a mother,
broken as a child.
Broken as a child. She's starving for love. So when a man comes and says, I love you, she doesn't really take note of the red flags.
Yeah.
All she wants is the love.
Yeah.
So those are the things that, and then what you have to understand is I saw abuse in the home that I was brought up.
Yeah.
So that became a norm as well.
Yes.
So for me now to date a man that hits, slaps, or becomes abusive isn't something I wasn't used to. It was something I saw. So I could see that in two ways, that, you know what, that's love. Because that's what I saw. That was all I knew when I was growing up.
It was like a normal thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the red flags was identified, but it was kind of...
It was something I was used to.
Used to. Interesting. So did you feel trapped in that relationship?
It wasn't my first marriage or first relationship, and I didn't want to fail, and I didn't want, because even though I was born here, I'm from my parents.
The community.
Yeah, my parents are Nigerian, and there's always a thing that if you're from one man and another, it's all about you're the issue here.
Is that like a shame or labeling or what people
it's
say?
It's the stigma.
Yeah,
it's,
or the belief.
Yeah, it's a stigma. It's you don't want people to say it's you. You don't want to be a failure. And then for me, it was more about what are people going to say. And I feel that, like I said, that I had my own issues. I was not healed. So what's now happened is you left one relationship that was not working.
Yeah.
I've never gone through therapy or any kind of counselling about my childhood.
Yeah.
My childhood is still affecting me.
You still have the trauma with you.
Still having the trauma.
Like a carryover, and then...
No value on myself. No self-worth of who I really am.
Yeah.
And I'm going from one relationship, I'm going to another. So going into the other, they prey on that, because what happens is you naturally open up to another person and say, because you're looking for love, you're looking for pity, you're looking for someone to love you and say, oh, how bad is that? So they see it, and they
see that vulnerability in you.
And then they work on that and think, you know what, I can get what I want from her. And especially someone like myself, I'm very hardworking, I'm a giver. They play on that, you then start falling in love, and then you feel trapped again. And then you see the red flag and you think, oh my God, I can't leave, I can't go, what are people going to say? But people don't understand that a lot of women, if you check a lot of women that go through domestic violence, if you go and dig deeply on their childhood, you will see that there's a lot of, the puzzle will start fitting. You'll see it connecting, because you see, it's either they weren't brought up by their own parents, they were brought up from other parents, they were sexually abused from a young age, they were mentally abused, they were physically abused, and they have no self-esteem, and they fall into the hands, and that's why they can't say no. Because when you see a woman that sees men like that and says no, go and check, they've had a perfect, no, when I say perfect, what I mean is they've had love, they've been shown love. So to them, they've got a list. They don't fit into that list, they don't want to know.
Yeah. And that brings me to the next question that says, were there moments you tried to reach out for help?
I'm going to be honest, with the way we've been brought up, because even though I was born here, I did go to school in Nigeria, and I feel that we were taught to, it's not everything that goes on in your life you tell people. You have to keep shut about it. You can't bring disgrace to the family. Those are the kind of things we say. I'm going to speak to you about here. But even though I did speak to quite a few people, like friends, not help, that cry, speak to them and see what I was going through, there was no help anyway. So I'll still go back to the same situation. So I felt that it's more, I worked on myself. I had to understand that, why is it repeating? Because these men were not family. They're not connected. They're not friends. Why am I hitting the same kind of issue?
Are you being are you attracting the same kind of men?
Attracting the same
men. It's like
men.
a pattern.
It's a pattern. And these are not family. So something's wrong. What is wrong is because...
And would this be like the abuse? Would that be like financial? Would that be physical? Would it be emotional?
So I've gone through physical. The last one was physical, financial, mental. So I've been through it all.
And would you say to this person, like, what you're doing to me is, not nice, is damaging, it's not good, I'm not happy?
You can't say that to a man.
Do you say that at all?
Yeah, but you can't say that to a man that's also damaged. Because when I look back now at because that's what even attracted me to him, actually, because he was speaking about how his uncle threw him out of the house from a young age. He used to sleep around in friends' house. He had a friend in Surulere, then they had him in. So he was never shown love.
So is that like a pity from your side and from his side?
Yeah, so he's never been shown love. He's always been rejected. So how can you say to that kind of person, you were hurting me? He's already hurt. He's already damaged.
So is it a thing of what you don't have, you can't give?
Exactly. You just hit the nail.
So what you don't have, you can't give.
Yeah, that's it.
So sometimes, are we okay to say that people that, maybe perpetrators or alleged perpetrators, they don't even know what they do to other people because of what they've been through themselves?
Yeah.
I'm not in any way, patronizing, or saying what people do to other people
is right.
But are we okay to look from that perspective as well? Because from their upbringing, if that's what is normal to them, maybe from the way they grew up, obviously, or what they see.
Yeah. I witnessed something a few weeks ago. It was a family member of mine, and the girlfriend said something out of place, and she got the beating of her life. And I sat down and I thought, wait a minute, this person's my family, very close family. And I just realized what they did was what they saw. Because I was there, I witnessed what we went through it together, and I just thought, the person's a very lovely person on the front, but what happened there was a repeat of what he had seen when he was younger.
Right.
And a lot of children you see with tempers, a lot of children you see that are very aggressive, it's not that they were born like that, it's what they were trained and what they were seeing. It's like a dog. If a dog is in a home and they see love, they tend to give love. They tend to give it all out.
That's it.
And be very protective. But when you see an aggressive dog, it's because what they see is the owner kicking them.
Not approachable.
So that is how humans are. Humans are what you see in humans when they get older or from teen is what they have seen and encountered from a very young age.
So are we right to say that the society, families, parents, cultures have a lot more to do, trying to figure out how we can stop this violence?
Yeah, I think in every culture
we
have this, whether Asian, whether British, whites, every culture has it. But I feel for me, it's very, very important. A lot of Nigerian women, I'm going to talk about it because this is where my heart is, stay because well, why you got cack off for me?
Yeah.
Don't let them count how many husbands I have. And I never wanted to have, multiple relationships or have children from not the one father. However, it happened. And what do? Do you stay in a relationship, but then you're bringing up a violent son that's going to be violent to his wife, a daughter that is going to, take abuse because she's seen it, because you've taken it, or you're going to walk away
and teach your daughter to lie. Because I've got someone as well, and the dad was physically abusing the mom, and not intentionally, the daughter got hit.
Okay.
In the process, and she's had to attend accident and emergency because it was so obvious and she was in pain. She had to be seen by a doctor. And then mom said to the daughter, when we get to the hospital, you don't say what happened. This is what you're going to say. You fell and then you hit your eye on something. So that was what they said at the hospital, and she was seen and well attended to. But I now said to the mom, okay, now this girl has seen dad abuse you, her dad, and did the same thing to her. This is not the first time, it's happened many times. What are you teaching this girl? To lie, number one, and to see this as normal. So now she's going to grow up and get into this kind of relationship, or when she sees this, she won't say this is a red flag. And then the cycle goes on. And then what advice are you going to give to this child? So this is childhood, like we mentioned when we first started this conversation. So
it's messy, and it is really messy. Please, I don't want anyone out there that watches this video to feel that they get healed or prayers will do it. We need to stop and go beyond that, because prayers are not going to heal a damaged child that has seen physical abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, insults, aggressiveness in the house. Prayers ain't going to change it. I'm not saying prayers don't work.
It does work.
What I'm saying is prayers plus therapy.
Prayers plus therapy.
Counseling. Prayers plus
support.
Eviction from that situation.
Prayers from talking about it.
Yeah. You need to remove yourself from that situation.
And that brings me to, what were the biggest challenges you faced when you left?
So, for me, you get used to the abuse. It becomes the norm. And then you have no self-value for yourself, and you have no self-worth. So you then you think that, okay, this is the best person for me, he's gone. How am I going to cope? So that's one challenge. The second challenge is when you start realizing and you start getting better and healing, you start going through the trauma of why did I allow it? Why did I allow that to happen to me? So then that starts bringing in more hurts, that he kicked me. Then you start remembering and replaying, because it's like your brain's like a video.
It is. Like
a recorder. So you start replaying.
Right.
And then that starts bringing up trauma, pain.
And does that make you more angry?
More angry.
And would you forgive that person?
It's weird, because at the time I remember, and you can testify, I remember I was so bitter. I would always say I would never go back. I would never go back. But I think it wasn't more than that. I was so hurt. I was angry. I wanted to put him in prison. Every time sometimes I would just get out my car and say, I'm going to the police station. I was so hurt. How can I let someone treat me like this? But then as I started getting closer to God, the word really healed me. Good. So I'm not going to say that I went through the full therapy or counseling, but I started reading the word and I started understanding the word, and the word healed me. And now, funny enough, I talk to him like I said he's a friend, for the sake of my
children.
Yeah, my son that I have for him, and just say, you know what, he needs help himself, because even the Bible says they do not know what they are doing. The only thing is, there's what you call abusive, and there's also the narcissist.
Yeah.
So
That's another big topic.
Yeah, so you have someone that's abused you and left, and then goes around slandering you, or making you, gaslighting you, and saying it's you, you're the issue, you're the problem. Do you not see she had that man before? If I'm the second man or so, why, so you have all that, and then you have people that are judging and saying you're the issue. So you have a lot to deal with when you're leaving. So I'm not going to tell any woman here that when you want to walk away, it's going to be so easy. So even if you go to the domestic violence unit or whatever, it's not going to be easy. You're going to still go through the hurt, the pain, the trauma, the psychological effects on you and the children.
Like, reflect, how did you get here?
How did you get here? The having to start all over again, knowing that you're never going to see that person because you want to evict that kind of person from your life. Totally.
And not be attracted to that kind of person again.
So you have a lot of work to do on yourself. Then you have to think of the finance as well. If the kind of person was the one that was, sharing the bills with you, dealing with not being, dealing with it on your own. But what you have to understand,
and that financially is why a lot of people still
stay in there.
Yeah.
But what you have to understand is, it's a choice. Do you want to stay in that relationship and continue to be damaged and damage your children? And if you don't have children, yourself, or die there? Or do you want to walk away and become a better person and use your mess as a message to others?
Yes.
And make sure that you spread the word, and we're saving lives out there and touching people's lives by saying, I'm a victor. I overcame.
You're a survivor.
Yeah.
You are a survivor.
So
that's kind of your advice to women who are currently in the relationship.
Yeah.
Because there's still quite a lot of women who don't even know where to go, who to talk to.
Yeah.
Because of the shame.
I know some people that have immigration issues, like they have no papers.
It could be immigration issues. I mean, that's why a lot of people still stay
there. But what I'm going to say to you, there's a lot of charities out there.
Yes.
Speak to people, go out there, speak to people, but just know the people you speak to, because especially in the Nigerian community.
There's women refuge. Yeah, there's support everywhere.
There's support.
Even on government website, www.gov.uk,
exactly.
There's a lot of support. Even for men.
Yeah, there's abuse.
Because it's not just women being abused.
Even children. Children get abused.
I mean, and it's not just to being in a relationship. It could be abuse from work. It could be from anywhere.
Yeah.
Even from siblings.
Yeah.
Even from siblings,
Yeah, parents. What I would say is, we are all born as royal priesthood. We are all valuable. We're all beautiful and wonderfully made.
Yes.
Please, I beg you, wherever you are, wherever you're watching, do not settle for less. Do not be a victim of abuse, even for your children, because I'm sure that the children that you think you're doing it for, they would not be happy. It affects them and it damages them, and it has a longer effect. So the better and the earlier you walk away and you evict yourself from that situation, the better for you. It
breaks them, don't it?
Yes, it breaks them. It damages them.
Yeah. And because they don't want to hurt mommy, or because they don't want to hurt daddy, they don't tend to talk about it.
I'm working with my children now. Like, I feel that my children really suffered a lot, and not abuse, like the physical, but the mental kind of side of it.
Because they see it.
They see it.
They hear it.
Yes. So it's something that now that I put them close to me, and I don't want anyone around our barriers that would come in and damage my kids again. And, so it's just me, my children, and I'm like going through the healing process with them and trying to make them say, look, anger is not something that you want to be taken in, because I've seen it in one of my child that he does get angry. And I feel that anger is coming from a lot of frustration that he's faced and seen by me getting beaten up, by me getting abused. And I feel that he's got a lot of fear in him. So now what I want to do, because whenever you walk away, never feel like, is it too late? It's never, even if you've got kids,
it's never too late.
In 18, you can always pray and work with them for God to change and touch their hearts, and work with companies out there like counseling, therapy that can speak to these children. And please don't be ashamed of it. A counselling Bible, therapy Bible, no. If you've got the money, the finances, or you go to the doctors, you can get help and they can get you the...
Talking about counseling, a lot of people from, like our community, do people go for counseling? Even when you advise people to go for counseling?
Well, there's different types of counseling in Kai. You've got like counseling in church.
Yeah.
You've got counseling within the workplace area. You've got counseling, that the doctor can recommend you. So, for instance, if you work, I remember when I was working at Barclays.
Yeah.
So Barclays had a phone line that even if it was at home, you go through. Yeah,
talking about domestic violence and abuse now.
Do
people, a lot of people, like...
I think people are coming out now.
Very well, because that's where you can get the help.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed about.
No, there's nothing.
Because I know there's quite a lot of labeling out there, and people are like, oh, I don't want people to know what's going on in my home.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that we need to stop. That's all our parents' era kind of thing. It's not our time. That's them. They took it. We shouldn't be taking it. We need to stop. We're breeding women that are going to accept domestic violence. We're not careful, we're going to be breeding men that are going to be so violent and abusive to their women. So what we need to do is we need to stop it by taking and removing ourselves from that situation. And if we want to help the partner that's abusive, get him into counselling. While you are away working on yourself, get him into counselling. Say, listen, I'm not leaving you, but I'm just evicting myself from the situation for our children and myself. Let's get into counselling. Go to rehab. There's so many places that can get help. Once that person is healed and back to where they should really be and normal, and you've worked on yourself, get back together.
I think even if they can't get back together, because some situations you really just cannot get back together. It depends on how bad the situation is. But can we at least start from raising the kids right? Because if I smoke now, for an example, and I say to my son or my daughter, don't smoke, does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Would the child smoke or not?
Yeah, well, if you're smoking and the child, of course the child will smoke because they see nothing wrong in it.
So if the child sees nothing wrong in me being abusive towards my partner or someone else being abusive towards me, and then I feel when they grow up, they will not be in that situation. Make me understand.
Yeah. And like I said, we all have a role to play as parents. So a mother really needs to protect the children from violence. And
a father needs to protect the children as well.
Father also. And if it's the father that's going through the abuse, I feel that in either way...
Because it's both ways.
Both ways. I feel that we all need to play a good role when we're bringing up children. Because the more that we are letting our kids get involved in this and seeing it, the more we're going to have a lot of abuse and dysfunctional children and families.
Dysfunctional society.
Dysfunctional society. So
okay, let's talk about positive side now.
Yeah.
So how has your perspective on love, relationship, and self-worth changed after leaving that relationship?
So it wasn't straight away. I mean, I'm 4 years out of it now, nearly 4 years out of that relationship. And I can say that the first 2-3 years was so hard. I didn't want to speak to no man. I just blocked it out. But I used that to work on myself. I didn't trust any man. And I think I had to go back to my childhood. And there's a therapy that you go for. And when you go for this therapy, they tell you that they're going to rewind you back into your youth, into your childhood, and talk you back so that you can play it. And while you're playing it, you can see all the things you've gone through in your, and then obviously start working on the positives that you want to work on.
Yeah.
So I worked on myself. I worked on my children, like I said, and I'm at a stage now that I don't see everyone and judge them no more. I don't have that barrier up or whatever. I'm not angry anymore.
Very well.
I'm not angry. No, I'm not angry. I'm not bitter anymore. Like I said, my ex is I see him more as a friend.
As a friend.
And as a brother. In fact, that when time permits, I would want him to go for counselling and speak to him about it. However, I just feel that I'm at the stage that I'm taking things easy.
Are you more confident now?
Oh, more confident. More confident. Like I said, I used to look at myself and think, maybe because I'm not beautiful as a woman.
But you are.
But now I feel that I'm a queen. And
You are
a queen and more.
Yeah, and more.
I don't need to do no surgery to be beautiful and accepted of who
Because
I
you
am.
are.
And I feel that the beauty is within.
That's it.
It's not all about the facial. It's not all about your body. It's within. And men or women will love you for who you are when you show your true personality of who you really are.
That's it.
So you can have all the plastic surgery, you can go and get everything done. If you don't have a character to back it up, and show anything you can bring to the table, then you're not really anybody's choice.
That's it.
So for me, I love who I am.
Very well.
I love where I am. I love where God is putting me. I love where God is taking me. I love the things that God has put in my hands, the souls, the single moms, the kids that have been rejected. They're very special and dear to me. I'm going to get a bit emotional. Because we do have issues in our culture, honestly. Rejection comes from even parents segregating and saying one's the favourite. That's an abuse that affects children as they get older.
Doesn't it? Comparison.
When you see people that are narcissists or they're manipulators, it's because of the kind of things like, oh, Yinka is better than Biola within the home. So that child wants love and stuff. So they always have to lie or manipulate to get attention.
That's it.
So, that is why
some want attention, but some don't even have that courage. So they just end up being in their own closet and, not talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm in a positive place.
Very well.
I'm about to celebrate my 50th in a big way. So, and things are going very well for me, I thank God. Yeah.
And I've just asked that question because, it's not bad. Even though, we've been through this, a lot of people have been through, this kind of abuse or, in not so good relationships. It's just knowing that people can still be happy.
Oh, certainly. In fact, I met a lady at work. She wasn't a full project manager when I met her. She was just like a PMO. And she went through domestic violence. And she said, the day she walked away, she decided she wanted to work on herself. She's worked on herself. In fact, she just bought a house.
Wow.
She's bought a house. She's actually a full project manager, meaning she's not no longer PMO. She's moved up to a project manager. She's now done her Prince 2. She's qualified. I feel that you honestly never ever limit yourself to say, I'll take this, but it's all I can take.
So how do you do that? Do you kind of change first, I know you have to change your mindset. You have to change sometimes the people around you.
What do you want? See,
set plans for yourself.
Let's talk about women. We'll talk about men in another topic.
Yeah.
Women that go through domestic violence, like I said, and I'll repeat again, they have no self-worth. They have no value for themselves. Yeah. It doesn't mean that they're not hardworking. A lot of these women are hardworking. They're go-getters. They've got they're so clever.
So do you need people who has good vibes around you? Surround yourself. What do you listen to?
When you leave, you need to go back to your drawing board.
That's it.
When you go back to your drawing board,
plan.
Where's your plan? Where am I starting from? What do I want for myself? This is a me time.
Yeah.
It's not about going. One thing I did and one mistake, and I'm going to say it boldly: never ever leave a relationship within months or even within a year or two. Jump into another. You cannot be healed within months or even 12 months. It's just about, even if you pray for being damaged.
I think that's kind of personal now, because for some it may work that way.
No, listen. The reason why I said that is you're going domestic violence.
It's a big thing.
They've gone through it for years.
I know.
Unless it's just a short few months domestic violence, and they've never had it before. They've always had it's just one that's just happened off sight.
Takes time to heal.
Yeah, but for me, I feel that you need to really work on yourself.
You do.
Any woman has gone to more than one or two relationship that's involved domestic violence, there's something you're attracting. There's something about you that is you are not dealing with and you're accepting it.
And do some people still carry these bags along with them? And some people just want to impress the other person. Whatever change, whatever confidence they now have, they're still doing it because I'm just trying to impress him. Yeah. Just to say that, well, I'm not that person, but I'm doing this so So are some women actually doing that for themselves, or they're doing it for that ex-partner to say, look, I'm not where you left me, and not move on?
Yeah, well, yes, you're right. So, like I said, it's a very deep topic.
It is.
You've given me short time, and I don't want to.
Sorry about that.
No. I really, I could go on forever, but like I said,
and I could ask you a lot of questions.
But I'm just gonna say for the viewers and for the people out there, is it's all about you. You need in this world.
That's what I want. It's all about.
It's all about you and what you want.
Not trying to impress anyone.
Sorry, I came out of the video there. I just realised that I was.
No, it's fine.
It's all about you. It's all about what you want. It's all about, if you have children, what you want for your children. If you don't have children, what would you want? If you want to be constantly in that relationship where it's full of domestic violence, then that's a choice. But I'm telling you, it's not a good choice. I'm telling you today, it's a choice that can kill you, mentally affect you, and it can finish you. It can wreck you. So the earlier you get out of a relationship, forget any of it. Because some abusers are very good at maybe finances, like they give you money, they give you everything, but they're very abusive. Don't look
trying
at
to make up.
Yeah, don't look at the things that you're getting. Don't look at I have to go a bit raw here. They can be good in bed, but they're abusive. You need to put that to the corner. Because if someone's good in bed or gives you all the money, but is abusing you, there's no love there.
There is no love.
It's all about control.
I agree with you.
That's all control. It's all about control, and they're controlling you.
That's it.
So what you need to do is you need to pick your bags up, you need to take yourself, and you need to go. And then when you go, you need to work on yourself. You need to go back and draw the plan. Go back to the drawing board. What do I need to do myself? And you need to cut them away. Because while you're healing, what they try to do, these kind of people want to come back into your life because they know that now you have the control. Because once you leave, you have the control.
That's
the
it.
Control falls back into your hands. But when you're in that relationship, the control is with them. When you walk away, and they don't like that, because what you've done is you've breaking them down to say, I have the power. I've walked away.
Yeah.
So that's the first power, which they don't like. But what you need to do is then you need to say, I'm cutting you off, I'm working on myself. Then when you are now strong and you've healed and you've worked on yourself, then you can then say, okay, I can have this conversation. I am not taking that anymore. That's not something I want for myself. Yes, you might still love me, but where I am now, I love you as a friend, as a brother, but it's not going to work because I don't feel that I want to be
in that place
where
that we're coming from.
That's it. That's me today.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I mean, it's really a pleasure having you on this program.
Sorry, I just ruffled on, but like I said, it's very passionate.
It is.
It's a passion for me. I really love.
It is emotional. I mean,
yeah.
I'm so happy and I'm super proud of you.
Thank you
for coming out to talk about this, because it's a very sensitive.
Oh, it is.
Topic.
It is.
You know.
Like, we're talking about it now. I can assure you there's some women out there that are going to be bashing us and saying what they're talking about. Their mothers went through slaps and whatever. But I'm sorry, I'll say it and repeat it. Our mothers went through it. They didn't know better. We know better.
We do.
We need to stop it.
We do need to stop it.
It needs to it needs to be put in place.
That's
it needs to be enforced. So whatever our mothers went through is because they didn't know better. Because if our mothers knew better and they had the opportunities that we had now, they had all these help, like women's
refuge, even talking about it.
Our mothers went through it then, because like you said, a lot of them were there because their father would pay the school fees. He was the one that would pay the house. He's the one that built the house.
Because there's a lot of responsibilities on our men.
Yes.
And that's part of the culture as well.
Yeah. So.
And this brings, I mean, not justifying it, it's a lot of pressure and could lead to a lot, which shouldn't. I mean, why would you have to be abusive towards somebody?
Yeah.
it's not acceptable, it's not normal.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you again.
Yeah, short notice.
Short notice.
I had to just rush and get my jumper on and come in.
You look so thank you.
Yeah, but yes, I enjoy.
Thank you so much.
So,
this brings us to the end of this program.
Thank you so much. I'll be back soon.
And then I was going to say, would you be back if I do invite you next time?
Certainly. You know that you've always been passionate about what I do for my charity. You've always wanted to work with me. You've been to my place a few times to do a talk. And I feel that women need to work together. No women, we're not in competition. We're here.
And I like you saying that.
We're not in competition. We're here. Everybody's calling. Everybody's ministry is different. It's different. Your ministry is different. My ministry is different. What I've been through is not what you've been through. What my mess is not your mess. And what the message I want to give and how I want to approach is not what you want to do.
That's it.
So my objectives is totally different to yours. And I would always be back to talk, to share ideas, to be part of what you want to grow here. And I see it doing a lot of positivity in our culture and in our community. And I feel that, continue, and I want you to continue because I love what you do. I wouldn't normally come out and rush out to do this for nobody. I'm not making my head
anything for Mrs. Pham.
But anything for Mrs. Pham because you've been doing this for years and it's something I see that you love. And
I love it.
Yes, and I would always be there to support you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
See you some other time.
No problem. Thank you.
This conversation has been both eye-opening and emotional, and I truly hope it has touched someone out there. Domestic violence is real, and no one deserves to suffer in silence. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, please seek help. Remember, you are not alone, and there are a lot of people and organizations ready to support you. For example, here in the United Kingdom, we have the National Domestic Abuse Helpline. We have the Women's Aid. We have Respect, who support men. We have victim support. In fact, you can go on the government website, www.gov.uk. Healing takes time, but it is possible. No matter how dark your past has been, your future still will be bright. Choose yourself, choose peace, choose a life free from abuse. If you found this conversation valuable, please don't forget to like this video, drop a comment below, and share your thoughts or even your experiences. Your voice might just help someone out there. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any episode of Conversation with Mrs. Pham. Like I said, follow us on all social media platforms for more discussions on important topics that affect our lives and families. And most importantly, share this with your families and your loved ones. You never know who might need to hear this today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode. Till we meet again, it's Conversation with Mrs. Pham. Thank you so much. God bless you.